It's Wednesday night. What a day. What a day. 8:30 on the East Coast. We're doing a live tonight. It's what we normally do on Wednesdays at 8:30. And I just honestly I want to try to figure out what's going on. I have some ideas about what's going on. I definitely have some thoughts on the situation. I really want to talk to you guys though. Uh, I very much do because the past couple of days have just been beyond and ironically, I think we've gone around a kind of corner. Everybody's been saying this is the turning point, but oh boy, it just seems so. Is that what you want to say? All right, so people are showing up. Not gonna. There's not. I don't envision a lot of guitar stuff tonight. This is mainly here as an emotional support animal for me. All right, here we go. Tons of people coming in. I want to talk to you guys. Need to laugh so badly. Amen. Same here. Same here. I'm at a loss for words, says Nikki. Hello from one saddened patriot in California. Shannon says I'm telling you what, when you start to, and let's just talk about the elephant in the room, the whole Charlie Kirk thing. It's not lost on me that this is what happens when someone, it's like, what I think is maybe it was like a Socrates, or like when you're losing a debate, slander is the first thing you do. Like when you can't win a battle of wits, you start to call people names, and then you ultimately resort to violence. Like they couldn't compete in the battle of ideas. They couldn't have a debate about these issues. So it's violence. There you have it. There you have it. And a lot of people are doing their really gross, attention seeking, TikToks, and they're like, and I tell you what, I want all of those. I want all of their employers to be notified. Here's where I'm going to land. Here's where I'm going to land on this, because it was bad enough with the Ukrainian. Hey, Julie, it was bad enough with the Ukrainian girl. That was heartbreaking enough. Sweet Lord, like I literally, we were talking about that on Gutfeld last night, and it was but I'm like, I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we did. God bless you, Greg, and God bless you, all the producers over at Gutfeld, because it's like, I'm going somewhere with this. We're never going to make fun of the girl. We're never, of course, we're talking about the media. We're talking about the perceptions of it. We're talking about how they try to, play with reality, whatever. So I was glad that we did that segment, but that was heartbreaking, man. And when you look whole, that we went, I was having like 9/11 vibes after that. After that, you have this crazy, there goes my guitar pick. You have this crazy, has anybody else been feeling this? It's like this disconnect from reality. It's like, I want to say it's like you're walking through a dream or something, but you're bewildered, and you're like, your brain is still processing, and then under it all is this intense anger, that you have to be aware of and go, okay, I'm really mad. And that was the Ukrainian girl on the train in Charlotte. Now it's like some crazy 1-2 punch the day before September 11th, this Charlie Kirk business. And I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but now I'm not the only guy who dropped an F-bomb on Fox. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm looking at you, Gutfeld. Yeah, yeah. They were talking about the whole Charlie Kirk, and I have to be careful here. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or X, I have to mind my P's and Q's. And thanks for sharing, of course. And thank you for being here and being part of this community. And I'm so glad that honestly, this is going to be like cathartic for me. This is very hopefully we're all kind of on the same page and trying to figure this out and moving forward. And it's not going to be it's not going to be a live stream where Charlie Kirk and I were good. My heart breaks for those people. My thoughts and prayers are legit with Charlie Kirk's family and his close friends, and I hope those people are okay. And so then the question is, what then must we do? What then must we do? Because I'm just like you guys. I'm incredibly angry. It's wild. It's what, but I don't want to go like some like unhinged madman. Like I really like that's not. But I'm incredibly angry. I'm incredibly angry. And here's what I did write down. What I did write down. I actually did take the time to gather my thoughts. Connie says, if you disagree with me, come to the front of the line and let's talk it out. Yeah. So Charlie Kirk was the nice guy. Charlie Kirk was he was very, very smart as well. And I was watching a video of him saying that you need an unhappy public. You need to keep the general public unhappy. That way it makes, communism or socialism or this new government, it'll make it look appealing. So you need a sense of hopelessness and an unhappiness in the general population so that people are attracted to this new thing. If you've been listening to the podcast, I've been talking about this, and that is it's on the left, it's kind of working. On the left, that's why this Zohran Mamdani guy in New York, I think he's doing pretty well. There's a chance he's going to win. And when people today, especially the younger kids, they have this sense of hopelessness. They're up to their eyeballs in debt. The cost of living is through the roof. They can't afford the rent. They can't even think about getting a house. The future is bleak. If you're a socialist, if you're Zohran Mamdani, if you're Bernie Sanders, or AOC, that makes socialism really appealing. And that's what makes what Charlie was doing great. It's also the same. Listen, when Charlie Kirk would go out to these colleges, and it was just an open debate. You think you have a better idea? Let's hear it. Okay, I think I'm right. You think you're. It's like what Steven Crowder used to do with I think this changed my mind. But it was wonderful. It was an open debate. And then if you're a college student, you're like, I guess he is right. Charlie Kirk was the nice version of that. He was the kind, gentle version of that. So now what I want, and these people online, and you look at what everyone else is saying, and they're like, oh, you just created 1 million Charlie Kirks. You just created 100 million. I really hope so. I really hope so. What's up, Romeo? I really hope that we've created a bunch of people who want to keep doing this, because that's what I think the solution is, at least right now. I know that there's what I want to do, There's what I want to have happen, but that's like that's just me hulking out emotionally, just like, "Rah!" I want to go off. So when they say, "Oh, you've created 100,000," oh, he just created 1,000,000 Charlie Kirks. That's what I want. It really is what I want. I want people to have that Charlie Kirk mentality everywhere. Everywhere. This is not just going to be on some college debate club. This has to be everywhere. I'm in Maxine Waters mode. You know, Maxine Waters, if you see a Trump supporter, you confront him at the grocery store. You confront him at the bank. You like remember Maxine Waters was doing that? That's what I want. We have to, once again, I was talking about this on the podcast a couple weeks ago. There's going to be name calling. People are going to give you crappy looks. People are going to call you names no matter what you do. So we have to just stand up. Okay, Connie says this is huge. We keep hearing that we need to have a conversation. Oh my God. Read what I wrote down. We need to have a conversation. We need to have a conversation. Isn't that the mantra? That's Kamala Lala Ding Dong. That was her bread and butter. And that's whenever it gets touchy, whenever it gets close, that's what they say. They're like, oh, dang, what do you think about boys dressing up as women and playing in women's sports? We need to have a conversation. We need to have a national conversation about that. Okay, I agree. We do. We're going to have it everywhere. Everywhere. Whenever it pops up, we're going to have it. It's not going to be an organized thing. We're not going to wait for you to no. And it's not going to be on a college campus where we're sitting outside where somebody can be on a rooftop. I've about had it with that. That's something else that and this goes back to the Irina girl, and it goes back to Irina, and it goes back to Steve Scalise, and it goes back to Donald Trump, and it goes back to a bunch of kids at a Catholic school twice, once in Nashville a couple weeks ago in Minnesota. Listen, we need to figure out what we're going to do with the people who need mental help. Let's have that conversation. Let's have a conversation of who's responsible for the violence every day. Let's have a conversation about district attorneys that aren't locking people up for violent crimes. Let's have that. Oh, we need to have a national conversation. Let's do it right now. This makes you realize just how close it was for Trump. Yes. And I'll be honest. I think the timing of this is super sus. Super sus. When everybody is just like totally as a nation just galvanized and talking about we have to cold hard look at the facts. That girl on that train who was just taken out, we have to talk about having a real conversation. We had to have a real conversation. The next thing you know, oh, there goes Charlie Kirk. It's horrible. Dems don't want conversation. That is correct, Connie. That is correct. They don't want it. They just want to say those words. We need to have a conversation because it gets you out of any jam. It gets you out of any jam. You come home late with another woman's lipstick on your collar, and your wife was like, where were you? And you're like, we need to have a conversation about the trust issues. Because I understand, in a relationship, just make it something big. Soros-backed DAs are the root of all these happening in our courts. Yes. And it's crazy how we all know it. We have to be so loud. We have to demand action. We really do. So much crazy crap is going on in the world right now. And we're not demanding act. My God, I was putting together a thing for the LoftusParty.com today. right. And I finished it and I posted it to the website. It's like, oh, here's the big news. This is right before the Charlie Kirk thing happened. They got more emails from Fauci, talking, oh, this is all about the Wuhan and destroy this email, delete this email after you read it, all this stuff. The whole thing sounds like a freaking intelligence community operation. That's big. We still haven't held anybody accountable for the Wuhan. We still don't know anything about who was the money behind Epstein. Who was making Epstein Island happen? Right? We don't know anything about that. And then you talk about there's a frickin' paper trail. And you've got these people, you've got who's the girl from Hawaii who's the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, who's a lovely girl, but she's like, I have irrefutable evidence that John Brennan, James Comey, Barack Obama, blah blah blah, and I've passed it along to the DI. Nothing happens. That's why I'm saying it's so surreal. So we can't go, oh, I'm going to vote. I'm going to wait. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait. I'm going to kind of lie low, and then I'm going to wait for an election, and then I'll vote for a person who tells me the crap I want to hear, and then they'll disappoint me later. They're not going to do it. We're all on our own. And whoever has the biggest community and whoever is better organized, that side's probably going to win. And right now you have George Soros and you have the DNC and you have the frickin' mainstream media, this unholy trifecta of evil. So yeah, hopefully we did just make 1 million Charlie Kirks. Hopefully everybody's ready to have that frickin' debate. And it's like, we have to freak out about it. This, once again, I was talking about this on the podcast. The people who make the noise get the results. We've kind of taken this high road, this whole conservative right wing. Well, I have faith in our institutions and I have faith in the Constitution and the blah, blah, blah. We need to freak the F out a whole lot more. You can say whatever you want about Black Lives Matter, but you know what? They changed a lot of police departments. They were pretty good at making sure police departments had less money. I'm laughing because they also all the cops now have the body cameras and those things. That was the best investment ever. That was the best investment ever. Because now the cops are like, dude, thank God I had video. That person was Looney Tunes. It's better because, like, you see these things in these videos, you wouldn't even believe it, but then you see it, you're like, oh, shoot, dude, shoot. And do we need tasers anymore? I don't know. We might have left tasers in the dust. We might just go straight to the pew pew. All right. Free speech matters. Yes. Hello from Pensacola. What a sad day today. Thanks for the Loftus party fan. Oh, Kendra, you're fantastic. I'm where did my I lost it. It's gone to another dimension. My guitar pick. Lawlessness. Where did I hear lawlessness will be rammed? To the Bible, maybe. I'm not surprised at all. Disgusting, yes. Yeah, let's freak out and create lawfulness. Oh, I see. Full of lawfulness. I tell you, I would love it. I would love it. There's so many videos you see online of like you have to be ready for like super violence now. The cops aren't coming. And if you live in LA, they're really not coming. If you live in New York, they're not coming. Like you're on your own. Get yourself a pew pew and learn how to shoot it. Learn how to do your thing. You've brought us out of our shattered shock for a bit. Thanks. Thank you, Connie. Jeff says the pick is inside the guitar. No, thank God. I'd be freaking out. My head would be exploding. Okay, Nathan says thank you. Thank you for being here, Nathan. And before I forget, there's a new Loftus Party emo going out, a Blastorama. The Blastorama is going out. Good for you, Larry Bird. The Blastorama, I believe it's going out tomorrow morning. There's a poll. There's new stand-up dates. I'm in Denver, Colorado. Not this weekend, but next weekend. And then, kids, there's going to be Gutfeld on the 24th. Then 25th, 26th, 27 is Fort Wayne, Indiana with the American Misfits. And then the day after that, I'm going to be up bright and early, like the early bird, and I'm going to be at the Redneck Riviera with my buddy John Rich and my buddy Cat Turd for Turd Stock. You know, keep America 2A strong, F the lifty libs. Yeah, we really have to. I was watching some of the MSNBC stuff, and yeah, we should call for a lot of those people to be fired. It's once again, it's beyond the beyond. It's beyond the beyond. Some of the things that they were saying. However, we're living in two very different realities. If you're on the left and you listen to the stuff that's coming out of the politicians' mouths, these are the same people. These are the same people. I go back to the Steve Scalise one. I'm still not over the Steve Scalise one. Remember the Bernie Sanders supporter? Oh my gosh, they're all Hitler. Here we go. Bing, 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 bing. Like he was going after everybody. He just really sucked. I'll have a conversation. I'll debate anybody. I honestly believe that we are on the side of freedom and individual rights and all of that. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't genuinely believe in my heart and soul that we were correct, that this is the way. But we got to just keep marginalizing them. Keep coming out to the live shows, you guys. That's huge. It's so awesome. I was in Phoenix, sold out show on a Thursday night. And they're like, we've never had a sold out show on a Thursday night ever since we've opened. The people in our group are wonderful. We're polite. We're a great audience. We don't overstay our welcome. We're generous with the gratuities. Like there's never an issue. It's so great to watch like the little hippie commie liberal servers who are convinced that we are all just demon people who are total fascists. And they come in and they're so conflicted. Because they're like, I'm supposed to hate these people, but they were so nice and all they were doing was laughing and then they were nice to me. That's how you do it. It has to be by example, and we need to marginalize these wackadoodle outlets and keep supporting. It's what I love about John Rich and the whole thing, the Redneck Riviera and his whiskey, and he's got a bank, and I'm proud to announce that we got all the bells and whistles fixed over at Studio TST, and we're going to be live streaming Turd Stock at Studio TST. But like all of these, if it's a good business and they're really genuine about like, hey, we're freedom loving, we're not bowing to the woke, all that stuff, support them. They have to be, this ideology It runs deep, and we have to get it out of everywhere. It's everywhere. It's still in the school curriculums. It's still in the colleges. It's still in the workforce. It's still, we were talking about this the other week on Gutfeld. It's still in the Disney movies. Have I heard John's latest song? It's awesome. Yes, I have. And that's it in a nutshell. The song is about the TVA, and the TVA is the Tennessee Valley Authority. And these people, it was created by FDR back in the day, and they don't answer to anybody. They answer to like the president of the United States. I think that's it. And they were just going to take these people's farms to do, I forget what kind of weird ass power plant, whatever horrifying thing. And John Rich went to town on him. He went to town on him. And then they suddenly, magically, mystically, they came up with other plans. That's the idea in a nutshell. That's how it works. We get a bunch of people, you get very loud, you make a shit ton of noise, and these politicians, I'm telling you right now, and I know I keep saying I was just saying this on the podcast, but I swear to God I was. These politicians are beneath us. The only reason we're not successful politicians, everybody watching, is we have real things that we need to do. These politicians are not good people. They're liars. They're charlatans. They're frauds. We have to continually rattle their cages to get them to do the right thing, to convince them, if you don't do the right thing, we're going to replace you. And then I want to go through all the deals. You know, that's like, oh, I was a senator for a couple years. Shouldn't I be taken care of for life? Nope. All right. They wanted to put a methane plant on those people's farmland. What? They wanted to give AOC, AOC full of methane. That was a toot joke. Bung, bung. Okay. We don't have pharma lobbies in our pocket. That is correct. And hopefully neither do they. We got to keep showing your support for RFK. RFK Jr., that dude is fighting the good fight. They're talking about banning pharmaceutical ads on cable TV. Guess who the number one advertiser is on MSNBC? Mm-hmm. Big Pharma. It'll be the end of that. It'll be the end of it. They have nothing. It's all just made up, bizarre Don Quixote smoke and mirrors. Trump is the only one in DC who knows he works for us. Yes, I have great faith in Donald Trump. I have great faith in Pete Hegseth. I have great faith in J.D. Vance. I used to have great faith in Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. But those guys, they got to show me something. You got to show me something. I swear to God, when Tulsi Gabbard is like, hey, I've got irrefutable evidence. Look at this. Here's the emails. Here's this. Here's that. Connect the dots. And then Pam Bondi's like, I'm going to form. It's gotten so bad. I get mad when I see like Pam Bondi tweet anything. When that chick tweets anything that isn't like a warrant for John Brennan's arrest, she's like, we are, and she'll use all caps, we are actively going after the shooter of the bubble. I'm like, honey, sweetheart, you got a lot less tweety, more handcuffy. I don't have faith in our Keystone Cop Secret Service. I don't either. And hopefully somebody is in there making it right. Wasn't it somebody who was on the Trump's butler detail who's now in charge? Pam is stern. Yeah, Pam Bondi. She's very stern. Is anybody afraid of her? That's like, here's the deal. Who was the guy who was the head of the DOJ for Garland? Merrick Garland, was that his name? And that he was like death himself. And he just came out there like the angel of death. And I personally told the FBI to go to Donald Trump's house. And because of law, that dude was scary. That dude was scary. When they're showing up with the FBI at your door, hut 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 hut. That's what I want. We need to have a conversation. We need to have a national conversation about the FBI and how come they're not at James Comey's house. Yes, the big guy next to Trump at Butler, been with Trump since the first term. Yeah, I think he's a good dude. Greg was actually nice to you, Michael, and he was nice to Kilmeade. It's all in fun. We have a blast. Kilmeade was cracking me up last night. Kilmeade did a version, though, of the bit that I wanted to do, because they were talking about MAGA wants you to be outraged about the stabbing of Ukrainian blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, as opposed to what? That was like the most bizarre headline to me. The MAGA crowd wants you to be outraged because an innocent girl was just, did you not see it? You're not outraged? What emotion are you having? Let's talk about whatever issues you're having. You have to have the courage of your convictions. You don't have to be a street preacher about it, but don't back down from anybody. Stand up for what's right in a calm, collected smile on your face. I've had a handful of death threats. Not a fan. Not a fan. Moisky looks like a Nazi freak. I don't understand that. That was awful. So do you have to be MAGA now to be a decent human being? I guess so. I guess that's it. MAGA wants you not to steal. Oh, Donald Trump and the gang, they don't like crime. Like, what are you? MAGA supports the fire department. Donald Trump and his MAGA crew don't want your house to burn down in the Pacific Palisades. What are they doing over there? Michael rallying. Oh, Andrea, you're sweet. What do you want to bet Charlie was? Ooh, let's see who that was. I want people to go to jail when they commit a crime. This whole thing where like we're going to have a revolving door, that's obviously not working out. I want honest crime statistics. They've been mislabeling a lot of, and it adds up. But remember, you heard it here. There's been a lot of people who are obviously ethnic. And it's like, oh, there goes a white guy. That white guy did this crime. And they keep mislabeling people who are not Caucasian as Caucasian. And I think there's a very good reason for it. There's a lot of statistics that they don't like about who's committing violent crimes. We need to have a conversation about that. We have to be very open and honest about who's committing the crimes. And when people are like, our jails are full of people of color. So why is that? Why do you suppose that is? It doesn't mean I'm letting them out. They committed a violent crime. You're not allowed to do that. Here's the other thing that kills me, and then I'll let you go because we're going long. None of this shit is hard to figure out. If someone is mental, they need mental health. They need to go to a facility that specializes in that. I don't care what skin color you are or what way you want to dress up, or maybe you call yourself Linda Liv. I don't care. If you're mental, you need help. If you're a violent repeat criminal, you need to go to jail, maybe for the rest of your life. And people are like, oh, but the jails are full of, you need to figure that out. I'm busy. I got work to do. But if that is your chief, the answer is not to let violent criminals out of jail. Obviously, that's not working. That's not working. Oh, and we need to shut our border completely. Like, no more immigration. None. It should be our full-time job kicking people out. Kicking people out. I have reached that. I've reached that point in my evolution that, like, I don't even want legal immigration anymore. I think we have close to like 80 or 90 million people living here who don't belong here. All right. They get out of the mental health treatment and then they're non-compliant with their mental treatment plan. That is correct. And then you might go, then it's a revolving door. There was a guy in my neighborhood in Studio City, and I'll let you go. I would walk my dog, down by the LA River. Beautiful, beautiful little hunk of the LA River, if one exists. That my bunch of the neighborhood, we try to keep it nice. And there was this guy that you'd see like kind of like walking around in the mornings, and then he'd be walking around in the evenings. And then a couple weeks would go by and he'd be walking around, but he'd have a sweater tied to his head. And you're like, okay, that's odd. And then you'd see he was wearing like an old skirt that he found somewhere. And then he was obviously having he is off his treatment plan, and he was having a break with reality. And then it would get to a certain point where you're like really starting to worry about this guy. And then somebody, I don't know if it was a family member or who, they would come and bloop, bloop, snatch him up. He'd be gone for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden he'd come back and he'd walk around like it was normal. And then a couple of weeks later, he'd have a shirt on his head, and you're like, oh, and it was a cycle. It was a cycle. And I was fine with that. Like, what are we worried about? What are we worried about? Like, as long as he's not getting violent, dude, yeah, you weren't taking your meds. And he like wakes up and he's like, oh, what happened? Dude, you did it again. Next time, as long as he's not violent and nobody's getting hurt, he can do that for the rest of his life. Seriously. As long as he's not violent and no one's getting hurt, you just stay on your little mental gymnastics treadmill. I don't care. But the minute people get hurt, now it's a different thing. Now we can't play that game anymore. All right. I always support the men and women in the military 100% no matter what. That's a fine way. Brian Hayner is here. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Brian Hayner is here. One of the best people. I love you, Brian Hayner. I don't tell you that enough. I'm trying to do this new thing. I've been texting Brian lately. Just like, how you doing, man? Like, I gotta be better at that as a human. Like, people that I care about, just like, hey, just like shooting you a text. Brian Hayner's fantastic. He's one of the most talented guitar players ever to walk the face of the planet. And I want to make more music with that guy. We got to do songs. We're going to figure it out. I'll come to where you are. We'll figure it out. We're going to go. Make sure you're subscribed for the Blasterama. And Brian, tell your lovely wife I said hello. And she has horrible taste in apples. Everybody's saying hello to Brian. Loved your Pee Wee Herman impression. Oh, that was from last night. I'm going so long. Yeah. I'm Don Lemon. What do you think of me? I know I am, but what? I know you are, but what am I? That was great. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. We're going to let this one go. I feel better now than I did that when we started. And we have to stay loud as all hell. Do not be shy. Do not, I don't want, you don't have to force confrontations. It's not some kind of call to action and get violence, but stand up for your belief system. Let us hope and let us pray that this did create a million new Charlie Kirks. That would be fantastic. You guys have a great night. I love you all very much. And why are those pants still on?